Welcome to the Koz and Bru Show. A little bit louder now.
A little bit louder now.
A little bit louder now?
A little bit louder now.
I'd say it's a little bit louder now.
It is a little bit louder now.
Yeah, so we're trying to relive every wedding, to borrow a line from somebody. Actually, I thought of this myself. Every wedding from before 2005. I think there's been advances in wedding song tech, though.
Wedding song tech?
Yeah, you could go on.
Exactly
there's like you could go on Pinterest and get like what songs you should play at your wedding.
Well, you can go on Pinterest. If you're a woman, you can go on Pinterest and get everything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just waiting for them to have, when Pinterest is going to have actual, like, divorce advice. Where you can, like, you post, like, what your problems are with your husband, and then, like, the resident amateur psychologist will tell you exactly why you need to divorce him.
This is such a good idea that I think we should stop what we're doing and invent this. Yeah, Pinterest, well, I don't know. Maybe 10 years ago, do you think that they scripted out all their songs at the wedding? Because we had to more or less script out all the songs.
I did 4 hours. I did for the dinner. What we were sitting down, that was my playlist. But the dancing was definitely, I just told him, all classic hip hop and like 70s like funk and stuff.
And don't mess it up.
I said, no chicken dance, none of that kind of crap. He was like, yeah, good, man. Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm going to have some fun.
And he takes the chicken dance album and slowly puts it behind his back.
He's like, yeah, that's BS, man. He's like,
oh, summertime.
Summertime.
This might be the last podcast that really doesn't matter. Or maybe we might have 2 or 3 more where you're... probably stupider for having listened to it.
Wait a minute. I take offense.
Go on.
They all matter. They all matter. I give my life blood for these things.
Because every game matters.
Every game matters.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're going to talk Olympics. And actually, that's pretty good. You know, there's good basketball talk sitting within the context of the Olympics. The Olympics have been... pretty good, I think.
Overall? You're talking about
just basketball now? I mean, maybe it's just because I need something to fill
the time,
the dead zone and the time.
Yeah.
I mean, all I do is watch the basketball channel.
Yeah.
So that stupid trumpet, song, the NBC Olympics. No.
I don't know that one.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to watch the basketball channel a little bit more often.
I guess so.
No, it's... between the events, you just don't see all the time. Usain Bolt, watching that stuff. Watching that 400-meter runner.
Let me tell you what.
That was amazing.
As a former 400-meter runner.
In lane 8?
To break the world record in lane 8 is something ridiculously special. He was running by himself.
It was crazy. I'm sitting there
in the
going,
wilderness in lane 8.
It was just hard to watch because I was like, why is lane 8? What? It just kind of happened so fast.
And what a story! Like his, first of all, South Africa, my people, how you doing? How y'all doing out there? I'm sure they're partying, but his coach is like a 74-year-old grandma.
I don't know. It was weird because the guy breaks the world record, and it looked like he was filing his taxes.
Yeah.
After the race, he had no emotion whatsoever, and I'm just sitting there kind of jumping out of my chair thinking, holy shit, this is just awesome.
Yeah, he's like the Tim Duncan of track, I think.
Yeah, maybe he tipped over a potted plant in celebration and or protest. You could do it either way.
Either way.
You tip that plant, good things happen.
Oh, man.
Other events, I mean, the swimming stuff with Ledecky and then the 2 Simones, and I don't know their last names. I think it's Simone Giles or something.
The funny thing is, like, this the Michael Phelps, goodbye tour, he's killing it. But, like, it's so funny when they're here the announcement going, you were never going to see a swimmer this dominant this is a generation. I'm like thinking like, well, actually, the next race, there's a little lady who's doing it right now as we speak. It really isn't the next generation. It's literally as we are watching, we have someone that is equally as dominant as Michael Phelps.
Nigeria and Petaluma's own Josh Okoye.
Okay.
They upset. Who did they upset?
Oh, in soccer?
No, in basketball.
Oh. Josh is playing.
Josh is playing for Nigeria.
Nice.
Yeah, he's playing real well as usual.
Good for him. Yeah.
I would love to see him get a third guard role in the NBA.
How old is he now? He's 31?
He's up there. But I mean, if you need a scorer off the bench,
and he's got to play better defense than Huertas.
There's one spot there. Somebody could use this guy.
Absolutely.
No, they beat. I want to say Croatia, and the announcer almost pulled a "Do you believe in miracles?"
Yeah.
It's like probably like the fourth best announcing team,
right?
Because nobody was watching this game,
right,
and so it was a very like.
Do you believe in miracles?
It's like do you believe in miracles? Well, Nigeria just won. I don't know. It wasn't that enthusiastic, but he did claim it was like the greatest upset since, I guess, whatever
Croatia?
that hockey game.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I mean,
well,
not that I know a lot of them about the Nigerian team, but it's not like they beat
they have a guy
Spain
named
or something.
I forget, it's Michael Eme or something. He went like 6 for 10 from deep. All of his shots were threes.
Yeah,
they just got on fire.
Sure.
Now I want to know, was it Croatia?
And that's actually something that if we want to segue on into the in the Team USA.
How is Segui doing in the Olympics?
Segui's doing great. For them, I mean, they've already gotten as many medals as they did last time around, so Segui is great. But, what do you think about the play so far of USA? Or do we want to wait?
If you want to just jump right into the USA, one thing I've noticed with this Olympics in general is, why it was funny Nigeria, it's not that crazy of a comeback, is they just look more competitive than, 12 years ago, 8 years ago. Sure. I mean, I remember thinking like France didn't belong on the basketball court.
Right.
It's just the game has exploded. There's more talent. The world's gotten smaller. Advances in athletic technology, training, everything underneath that umbrella.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are all just stronger, faster.
And I was talking to my man Cody, and
your man Cody.
Canada in a couple years is going to have to be. They're going to be reckoned with.
It's a little bit of a shame they screwed this up, in the qualifying rounds by just not winning games that they should have won.
Right,
and now they're
so young. But 4 years from now, they're going to be something to deal with.
What I don't understand is Kyrie Irving Canadian. Because there was like this story that he almost played for Team Australia. I know he's born in Australia.
He's not Canadian.
He's not Canadian?
No, Kyrie Irving?
I don't know.
I can't keep track of all the Canadians. Was his dad a pro?
I don't know.
I feel like his dad played.
It's a good question for a quiz show.
Yeah, right. You got that?
Stat boys in the house tonight.
No, but between, obviously with Wiggins, Trey Lyles, Murray, who was just drafted. Tristan Thompson.
Maybe Nick Stauskas can get out of his own head.
Doesn't Nick Stauskas strike you as a guy that, like, in international ball would ball out, though?
Oh, God, yeah.
Doesn't he? I mean, like, he will continue to have his six points a game for his career, but internationally.
And it really makes no sense because the international game's more physical.
Absolutely.
But
I would not be shocked at all if he averages 15 points a game internationally.
But the international game passes the ball better.
They do.
And that's going to be...
Except for the U.S.
God, they're so bad.
It's really... Let's talk about that for a second. Because I'm a little bit confused on what
Coach what's going on?
K is doing.
I don't know if he's doing anything at all.
And that's not... But I think they're attempting to run some sort of motion-y type thing from what I saw.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that outside of, Clay, Draymond, and Barnes, there's no one on that roster that is involved in that offense, that kind of an offense on that team. I mean, I guess Carmelo in the triangle, but Carmelo really doesn't run an offense ever. But what's interesting is if you look at like Duke basketball and Duke sets, especially if he has a scoring big man, all Coach K has ever done was plop him down on the block and put a bunch of shooters around him. And I find it bizarre that when DeMarcus Cousins is in the game, that's not the absolute, like he doesn't just run his normal sets that he always runs, and they're trying to force this motion. It's like
I don't think that they trust Cousins. Like I put it this way, I would bet that they don't trust Cousins. Okay. It's not even I think. I would put money on it.
Okay.
So that takes that out of the equation, and then you're not going to run that with DeAndre Jordan.
No, because he can't post up
there, and the competition is actually quite good.
Sure.
So you can't just be like, well, we do have DeAndre Jordan, and just turn and back him down and go right over him.
No.
If this isn't that, every team's got a big man.
That's true. Big men are. There's a lot of big men. It seems on every team. It seems like.
Yeah, but they don't trust Cousins, and so they don't seem to trust Kyle Lowry either.
No.
And it's been, you know what, there's been a lot of post-game comments out of the Team USA guys. It's like, we don't trust each other. And that's code for Kyrie shooting too much.
He's feeling himself.
You know, every time I look, he's making good shots.
I don't have a problem with this play.
I'm not, this isn't like a bash Kyrie thing. I just think that there's a lot of ball handlers.
Is it? Do you think that they have to? I don't know how.
You know what they're also getting tore up on is the pick and roll,
which is bizarre.
It's bizarre, but these other teams are just running it really well. There was a play.
That's true.
Where it was against Serbia, and it was Bogdan Bogdanovic, and he ran it against Cousins. And my thought was naturally to think, okay, where was Boogie on this?
Yeah.
Did he screw it up? And no, he didn't screw it up. And then I go, where's the help? And it was KD on the help. Yeah. And he actually had a decent challenge. And I thought, I can't really bag on either player. Right. They just ran it really damn well. The timing on it. The one thing is Kyrie, he kind of got fly papered on the screen, but it wasn't something you would go to war over.
Right.
You wouldn't be like, oh, that's the proof that Kyrie Irving can't defend. They just ran it well. And that's these teams. They're good.
I think that's an NBA problem, and I don't know. And it always, when I'm watching the NBA, I'm always surprised how many teams have so much pick and roll in their offense since so few people run it well, and like people not knowing when it's time to pop, not knowing when it's time to roll hard. And it seems like all of these other teams know exactly how to run it, and they run it very well. And I just don't think that the U.S. is used to playing against this efficient of pick and roll basketball, because it is the pick and roll. What's great about it is if you run it properly, you have to have a third defender come over, and so I don't think they see it repeatedly run this well, and it's because there's no reason for them to be playing this poor defense.
It's not, and this isn't about Cousins, because I think it's a pretty much team wide thing. But targeting a big man that's got heavier feet, that's been one of the reasons I don't think that Coach K trusts him, and that again might be the antidote to some of these offensive problems, is to have somebody to dump it into.
Right.
But his angles are all jacked up, and that is from a year under George Karl. Because I had to go back and look at the tape. I wanted to see, like, is there a better version of DeMarcus Cousins that I can't remember? And there is.
Of defensive on the pick and
under
roll
Michael Malone, just quicker, smarter angles, and so it's just a mismatch. The team, you got like Paul George, for instance, is such a huge piece of this team.
Yeah,
and he's just a chucker. Yeah, he takes a lot of jump shots, and he doesn't really get into the paint and produce assists the way that you'd think somebody with his physical tools could.
Right.
Carmelo, even though he's hitting these great threes, they just lack that break you down mentality.
Clay found it a little bit, but Doesn't that kind of reek of like he might have a really bad game? Because those were some of those shots he was hitting were pretty terrible. He had 30, but he was just catching and firing. I mean, he was just the hoop was big for him. But considering the problems they're having moving the ball, doesn't it like? I don't know that him having that good of a game is necessarily going to help them. Like, who do they play next?
Well, now they're in tournament play.
Now it's tournament. Okay.
Today's Monday. I believe we'll finalize the brackets. But let's just let's take a spin through Olympic Village and avoid all of the condoms on the ground and whatever the hell else is going on in that place. That place, did you see? First of all, they're going crazy in Rio.
Yeah.
This is like, if you want to party, Rio is the place.
Apparently.
First of all, I love the crowd shots in these games.
Those people can get excited about a lot of stuff you wouldn't think you can get excited about.
Well, it's just like the basketball action ends, and maybe it doesn't even need to end, but they're just like dance party.
Immediately.
And it is the whole crowd.
Everybody. Yeah.
I don't see anybody not dancing.
No.
And this is a trend I would actually like to see picked up at NBA arenas.
Absolutely.
Is the dance party. And this is the one time that it's okay for the camera people to be just completely blatantly looking for chicks.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they've been doing.
Absolutely.
And I have not seen
great.
anybody on the internet even point this out. I've been too busy to point it out myself.
Yeah.
But they're just hunting out there.
Absolutely.
It's fun. The Team USA guys were interviewed during the volleyball match between what's her name?
Walsh and
Walsh and her new partner.
The new incarnation of that tandem is.
That was just a scene, man. First of all, I think they did the hip hop hooray ho hey ho thing all night long.
Is that just getting over there now?
I don't know.
Did they just get down to Rio, or is it just they appreciate a good party song?
It was probably that, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, because first of all, all those folks are from like Huntington Beach area,
okay,
down south, and I don't know, maybe they don't live in Huntington or it's L.A.
The what folks? The
volleyball folks,
guys?
the volleyball crowd, the crew,
yeah,
and they all just look like they party so hard. They go to us. They're like, and this is her husband, and he coaches like they called it like sand sports or something at Arizona State, and he's wearing the trucker hat, and I'm like, you were definitely out all night the night before. And all of them look that way.
Yeah.
And then you look in the stands, and everybody just looks like they're drunk as hell.
Yeah.
And then they go to interview Team USA. And you got Kevin Durant is like, it must have been like, oh, no, you got to go do the talking. Katie, I thought in terms of like, now I don't know if these guys are drinking.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But in terms of if they had been drinking, in terms of holding it together for the interview, I give him a B.
Yeah,
he did pretty good. He had a couple slurs in there.
Good for him.
And he held it down. But then Draymond,
oh Lord,
is right next to this thing was hilarious. Draymond's sitting right next to him with the American flag, and he's like draped in the flag, and he's like, if theoretically somebody was at like a rave or something and they were just having a real good time, that flag was like all over him. And he couldn't really be bothered to talk. Yeah. And then Jimmy Butler was wearing a really funny trucker style, I think it was a Team USA cap.
Nice.
And he had the big old purple cup.
Oh, boy, he wouldn't hide nothing. You knew what Jimmy was up to.
This is a big old cup.
Oh, man. What's the drink down there? What do they do? What's the caipirinhas?
I
think that's what it is. I think it's caipirinhas.
Is Rio the Carnival place?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. So people are partying in Rio, and as we spin around the Olympics and this
real quick, on
babies,
elite athletes that will be produced in these games in the village.
Oh man,
I'm gonna
23.
I was gonna go 7, but Ruski was keeping it real.
I fancy myself a better.
Right.
I don't want to be inaccurate.
What else we got?
Well, we got. All right, so let's talk Nigeria. The only real NBA tidbit that I noticed is Michael Jabinije, if I get that right.
Doesn't sound like it.
His ankle roll.
Oh, who's he playing for France?
He plays. He's going to be a Piston, and he jammed on somebody pretty good.
Yeah,
that's all I got for Nigeria. Other than Josh Okoye should be playing in the NBA, and China was the other.
China
just fall behind everybody by 50 team, and Jianlian looked pretty damn good in the tournament. And that's
how old is he again, though? He's like in his late 20s? Or is he 30 already?
Find me his birth certificate, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, right. Good luck with that.
Venezuela does not have any real noticeable NBA names. Email the show or tweet us or whatever you guys do if I'm wrong on that.
They have somebody.
But then from there, it's kind of a who's who of NBA talent. You've got Croatia, Spain, Serbia, Lithuania, France, Australia, Brazil, Argentina, and each of those rosters has NBA talent on it. What's been interesting is like Brazil, Argentina, and Lithuania are leading Group B, and Spain and Croatia are in a chase position, and one of those teams is going home before the knockout round. Or is that set? No, this is all decided tonight. Lithuania has looked really sharp.
Yes.
Serbia has looked really sharp. France and Australia, and the thing with Australia is that they just went and while France had a close final against Team USA at 100-97, the game wasn't as close as the score indicated.
Mm-hmm.
Australia put the fear of God into Team USA.
Yeah.
And they out-toughed them.
Yes, they did.
They just smacked them. And it was really great to watch because you see Kevin Durant getting just manhandled and like looking at the refs like, what the hell? And
they're in Kansas anymore, my brother.
Exactly.
They let him play. They let him play across the pond.
I watched the ref glare at him like, come on.
You looking at
Yeah, look at that. Seriously, go over there because when I call a tech on you, it's a personal foul too.
Right? Yeah. Now they are definitely having a little bit of a come to Jesus moment on some of these fouls.
I enjoy it. I'm kind of rooting against Team USA.
Well, play the damn game. Quit.
But maybe I'm not patriotic. Maybe I don't put my hand over my heart at all times during the national anthem.
That was
Gabby. Gabby.
That was so funny because when I read that, I was like, I thought about myself every time I'm at a game. I was like, I don't think I ever put my hand over my heart. I either fold my hands in front of me, or I like put them behind me. I'm standing. I'm attentive.
I think I put my hand over my heart, but I honestly could.
I take my hat off. I usually take my hat off and and have it. So I was like, I thought like, wait, what? I thought they were gonna say she was like.
You know how many times I've done something so like just because I'm like out there in the moment and people and I go, oh my God, that was really dumb what I just did. Like there could have been any number of reasons for her to not put her hand over her heart.
Right. I thought when I read the thing, it said like Douglas, completely disrespectful. I was she was gonna be doing jumping jacks or something on the thing. Like no, she's just standing there. Looking at the flag, taking in the moment.
So I did tweet out a couple pictures. There was one of the U.S. swim team and one of the guys that won in the whatever relay race. He wasn't holding his hand over his heart.
Right.
He was crying. But
yes.
It was clearly not patriotic.
Right.
And then when the guys from Star Wars won medals in one of the Star Wars movies, they didn't have their hand over their heart either. And look at how much you guys all love Star Wars.
Right.
People.
Ridiculous.
Honestly, there are some stupid people out there.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. We got to invest in education in this world because look at all these stupid people out there.
Is education going to help that, though?
I don't know. We got to do something. We're going to be in idiocracy in like 3 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is okay.
What else we got? Oh, my. I'm sorry, but Hope Solo is definitely. I mean, I don't know how many Americans have went down to like drug testing and then Marion Joseph, but Hope Solo is probably the most disgraceful U.S. Olympic athlete that we've ever seen. This idiot cannot get out of her way. First, the Zika stuff when she posted those pictures, and what I love about the people of Rio is that in unison, like it's great. Like when she catches the ball, they go, Zika. And it's like,
right. Do they really do that?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. And it's like, because of the pic, you know about the pictures that she sent out. Like she had like looked like a hazmat.
The only Hope Solo pictures that I've ever seen, I cannot unsee.
Yeah. So she had like this hazmat hood thing on and all this spray and was like, yeah, I'm prepared for it or whatever. She tweeted that out. And so they've been jumping on her every time she touches the ball. But now, so they lose. Now, they looked pretty poor again. They tied, who was it, Colombia? They tied against the U.S.
Was
women?
it like a...
Or
no,
Venezuela?
I don't know. I know that they had PKs and lost. That's all I know about this.
So they tied in the game before. And so then against Sweden, you know, whenever. Now, you played soccer, and I've watched enough soccer. When you're going against a team that is more talented, and there's a potential that they can win 5-1 or something like that, what do? You bring everybody back, you play that defensive game, and then when you have a chance, you go for it, and you go for a strike. So that's what they did, and they ended up winning with the penalty kicks and whatnot. This is Sweden. And so she tells her, instead of tipping her hat and just going home and shutting the hell up, she goes, we played a bunch of cowards. We played a bunch of cowards, and the best team did not win today.
That sounds like dumb fan talk, you know? Like
Exactly.
That's like I'm not gonna pick on Raider fans
You better not.
because there's just as many dumb Niner fans out there.
You got that right.
But it's like one team won the Super Bowl, and then your team went like 2-14.
Dude, they suck, man. They only beat us by 3 when we played them in the preseason.
I just worry for Hope Solo.
Why? Who did she go home and I don't worry for who she went and beat up that night. That's who I'm worried for.
Well, that's kind of that's like the serious part of this is that she's got some sort of problems.
Yeah.
And she's going to have to go out there and address them because otherwise it's just not going to have a good ending.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's already 35, so I can't imagine.
I think
can't imagine that she's going to be around.
There's other stuff here because like the newspaper writers teed off, and you can kind of get a sense for like when the newspaper writers don't like somebody, and it's kind of widespread. That means that they've seen the personality and they've seen the behind the scenes stuff, and they're just not on board with her. They all just took the opportunity to just tee off. Right. She's just probably used her superstar, like leveraged it way too much and was just a jerk to everybody.
Right.
That kind of stuff. You notice it was interesting with Phelps. There was a guy that covered him like as that was his beat, was the Michael Phelps beat.
Okay.
And he had like a series of 20 tweets that he sent out, really heavily nuanced, like just talking about, when you're a superstar at that age and, do you use it to your advantage like that? And
like what?
Well, you overuse it. You're a dick to people.
Okay.
That kind of thing. But then he also said, he's really good with kids. And when he grew up and matured in his older age,
right,
you start to see him turn a corner a little bit.
Okay.
And with Phelps, that narrative has kind of you can see that the behind the in between the lines stuff with Phelps is it appears like the media is happy that it's better late than never.
Sure.
And they're giving him that little extra, like Bob Costas interviewed him, who said, really happy for you, and especially personally.
Right.
And just kind of getting his life settled down like that. With Hope, they're just guns blazing.
Right.
Just
right.
taking every opportunity to phrase things
right
in the most negative possible way. And that's because they don't buy what she's selling.
And it's funny because you could even see like, Serena bowed out early, which was an upset.
Oh, that was crazy.
And Serena is no cupcake on a loss. And she didn't she spoke to a select group of the U.S. reporters and didn't speak to the whole world media. But they didn't get after her.
No.
And you know what I mean? And like, and she'll have these fits. And people will say like, well, she should have done this. Should have. But Hope, I mean, like, clearly there is clearly the people that deal with her in the media, that deal with Serena, they're like, okay, probably a poor loser, but, you know, she's not a jerk.
And
but Hope, it's
the crazy
clear.
thing is she had as much potential, like, as, what's the other soccer player? Alex Morgan.
Sure.
Everybody loves Alex Morgan.
Right.
But Hope Solo was probably a bigger name.
Sure.
And
good looking lady.
And
I mean, like she comes off like a jerk. I mean, it's kind of. I mean, that's you can't really market that. You know,
well, they were marketing it just fine there for a little bit.
Yeah, until she started opening her mouth.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem. If she go back to just standing there, she probably would have had a way different career as far as her endorsements and stuff went.
The don't talk thing could apply to a lot of people. Okay, so let's talk some hoops here. A bunch of players have stood out. Like Dario Saric has stood out as. Are
you talking about the savior of Philadelphia?
I'm not talking savior of Philadelphia, but he's like a good Myers Leonard. Like his body frame. I know they're talking about him playing like small forward. I don't see that. But like as a power forward, he looks like he can bang a little bit. So you could you could use him on some fives.
Sure.
His blocking, his shot blocking.
He's a good shot blocker.
His timing.
Yeah, he is a good shot blocker.
It's like he gets every possible inch that he can get out of the jump.
Yeah.
And
he's got timing. He has the instinct. He doesn't really leave. Like when he leaves his feet, he blocks the shot.
It's very,
like he is. There's not a lot of guys like that.
Off the ball movement is really good with him, and that's just the hardest part of defense.
Sure.
He also seems to, agility wise, he seems to just kind of move a lot faster than you would think a man of that size should be moving.
Sure.
So then you have the offensive skill to go with it.
Right.
I just wonder how they're going to pull it off. Like.
Now, has he said he's coming over?
Oh, yeah,
sure?
he
is coming over this year.
He's He's locked in.
Locked and loaded. All right.
But with Ben Simmons around, you're starting to negate a lot of the stuff that he's able to do for Croatia.
They're all in.
Yeah, because they're all in on Simmons.
Yeah. And I mean, from what I've seen, I know who the better player of those two is right now.
Oh, I know.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
But it's funny because like everybody saw a few good passes at Summer League and is like, "Oh, this guy Ben Simmons is."
Yeah, when guys were standing there in cement and like I think my mom, who is never,
she's a mean defender.
She
let's
might
keep
be
it
a
real.
mean defender, and she has a good right arm when she used to spank me. But as far as like athleticism, I don't think you'd call my mom like the best athlete. She could have made layups on some of the awful off the ball defense that they were playing in Summer League. I mean, how many back doors? All those passes were like, a lot of them were back doors where the guy was like picking his nose. Like some of the defense reminded me of like little kids playing soccer, and there's always the one that's like cross-legged picking the flowers in the field. And that's what they were like. They were like raving about these passes when the defense was just so horrible.
But you can really get a feel for who's actually either played or watched enough film to be like good at this.
Right.
Because like really, man, that was hard to watch on Twitter.
Right.
Like the party that was being thrown for Ben Simmons. It was like if I went out there and I saw that, and I would have definitely done what Ben did, which is take the opportunity to just put a little extra spin on my pass.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like, oh, I'll just throw a little like side spin on this, and everybody's going to go crazy.
Right.
Now, actual good passing in real games, and this is another big name that's come out of this Olympics, which really he's doing nothing differently than what he did last year, and that's Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
He has come out, and he threw this behind his head pass. He was in the post. He watched the guy cut out of the pure corner of his eye. I mean, think like a baseball pitcher holding somebody on first base. That level of angle.
Yeah.
he saw and just flung it right over his shoulder without looking. It went right by the defender that was covering his ear.
Wow.
And it was just like, whoa, man, this kid's going to be special. Now, he looks like he's thinned out.
Uh-huh.
And that's because I think he knows that he's going to want to get minutes next to Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah.
That guy. And I think they can play together now because Jokic, he looks thin enough to handle fours.
Uh-huh.
And so that's a huge boon to his playing time if that actually happens. But one way or another, he's going to be the future in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Who's locked and loaded? They've got like 12 players.
Denver?
That can play.
Yeah, they're deep. They probably would be nice for them to kind of
Trade somebody?
Yeah, and gets, they still need I don't know what's going to happen with Moutier. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be healthy.
I think he loses minutes this year. I think
he might.
I mean, with Jamal Murray.
He might, because...
And like Jameer Nelson is going to get his 20 minutes no matter what.
Yeah.
And, I mean...
They need him, though. Someone's going to be odd man out, and Jameer... You're going to need that stabilizing veteran to play. So it's kind of, I think the ball's in...
And Gary Harris, he's a good player.
And Gary Harris is hard to keep. I mean, somebody that plays that hard and can kind of do everything
efficient.
as a guard, it's kind of hard to keep him off the floor.
I wouldn't move him off the floor at all.
Yeah.
I'd give him his 34, 35 minutes, and now you're saying, hey, Moutier, now it's on you. You had your year to mess around.
Right.
Now you have to make every move count.
Yeah.
So none of these crazy jumpers.
Yeah.
And you can't be turning the ball over more than 3 times a game.
Yeah, that's... as much as I hate the NC2A for just their awful corruption, guys just need to learn how to play. And, he just doesn't know what he's doing. With his body, he should be able to do... He tries to blow by guys way too much.
Without a plan. He just doesn't have a plan.
Yeah, just drive it on in there, not seeing where the help is. A guy's down low, he clears out, and he's got the one-on-one. He waits until someone else fills a spot, then he go. It's like he just doesn't know what he's doing, and that doesn't help when you don't have a jumper, and when you continuously miss chunks of time. Like he's never been able to get into any sort of rhythm. And that's very important for young guys. That's kind of why the Dante Exum injury was so devastating. The one thing he couldn't afford to do was be gone for a year.
Well, now Utah's got that same problem as Denver's. They got so many players now. I mean, how old Neto is going to be?
He's playing pretty good. A couple times I've seen him.
He just can't shoot. That's his big problem. And that it's kind of the same thing for Moutier.
But he's out of there. I mean, he's not out of there. But I mean, with George Hill and
I don't know what
Shelvin Mack, I don't think that
doing.
he's going to see the floor too much.
No, I don't think he's seeing the floor. I think that they are going to continue to play Exum, but Shelvin Mack will be right there behind him to push him.
Yeah.
And that's going to be that.
Yeah.
And George Hill will play. If he slides at all, he could maybe see 28 minutes, but he's going to play 30 to 33 minutes a game. They got to trade somebody too because Alec Burks is a quality player and he's just not going to fit in there.
Yeah,
and as far as Moutier and those guys go, it was great. Michael Malone was on the Zach Lowe podcast.
Okay,
and listening to that guy talk is just hilarious. He's just out there just being goofy. He says his wife, and his daughter will not wear purple at all.
Nice. Good for
since
him.
The Kings thing.
Good for him.
I thought that was a great. Now, he just a real entertaining podcast, but he mentioned for Moutier, until he gets a jumper, everybody's going under on everything.
Yeah.
It's the biggest difference making when somebody can go under with no penalty.
Right.
It's the Rajon Rondo thing, and that's why he does the put the Jets on, because you've got to beat a guy who got that much angle on you.
Yeah.
You've got to go full speed.
Right.
And that's what Rondo does, and they all end up at the baseline, and they look for that corner pass, and defenses just basically jump that route.
Right.
And then the question is can you throw a skip pass way back out up above the break And it's hard. There's too many arms and legs, and you do these crazy jump passes, and it's just nuts.
We're gonna know immediately in preseason about Moutier because like if you get your couple of 10, 15, 20, 30,000 jumpers up in a summer, your jumper will improve. Now is he going to be in the 3-point contest? No, but you could see improvement in form, and there will be some. The jump shot is one of the easiest things to fix if you want to. So I think just that alone in preseason, just seeing how it looks, will tell us everything we need to know about Emmanuel Moutier. Is he just one of these guys that I do my thing, or is he going to actually become a professional basketball player?
He barked at Malone one time during the season, which I thought was pretty interesting because nobody ever barks at Malone.
There's no reason to. He's putting you in the right spot to
it's like,
it's like people. It's like barking at I don't want to call him Belichick, but I mean, good coaches don't usually get like barked at.
Yeah, he and Nurkic actually barked a little bit, and it was interesting.
He is very young. I mean,
that's the way I looked at it. Is I said, you know what, this stuff happens, and maybe he's got to get knocked down a peg or two in order to get to where he's going. But I'm not betting against Moutier. I'm gonna just. I'm
not either.
I'm gonna do it just like you. I'm gonna wait till that first few preseason games.
Yeah.
But if he's still got that crazy hitch, and if you can tell when somebody figured it out.
Right.
They have a little bit of control to their game.
Yeah.
We'll see if he has that control.
I'm also going to look at his body, too, because he's got one of those like frames that with the summer of poor eating and not putting it in, that could get big. He's kind of got like a little bit of a Shabazz Muhammad.
Or a Tyreek Evans body.
Yeah, it's on the verge of, it could, if metabolism slows a little bit.
The crazy thing with Shabazz is when he turns it on, he cuts it all off.
Yeah.
And then, but it just takes one.
With all the different uniforms and stuff, like, I kind of didn't recognize him the first time I saw him when I saw him in
last year when he got all cut up.
Yeah, I didn't, he looked like significantly different in his face and everything. He lost so much weight, and I love when he's on. I like watching that guy. He could fill it up quick. Like I like watching him when he's going.
And the young guys, they think they can just go out there and eat whatever they want, drink whatever they want, and it's not like that.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
No.
So we're gonna go into the knockout round here for the Olympics, and so tonight we will get the answers to questions such as, I
mean, like, don't you...
So Brazil beat Nigeria already today.
Okay.
And then we're looking at Argentina and Spain, and then Croatia and Lithuania. So let me look real quick. So Croatia needs a win in the worst way because they are tied with Spain.
Argentina, Lithuania, Croatia. And that's it for
Spain
today?
and Croatia are both playing. They look like they're the ones that are on the outside looking in.
Now, this is finishing up the other group tonight.
Yes.
And then tomorrow, I'm assuming, or 2 days from now, will be the beginning of the
knockout round.
The knockout round. Okay.
And then so Spain.
So Lithuania is in the driver's seat then, I'm assuming, right?
Croatia beats Spain, so they'll have the tiebreaker over Spain.
Okay.
So basically this works like this. Croatia needs to win and hope that Spain loses, because if they tie, it's going to be Spain.
Now, if you're Lithuania...
Or pardon me, I got that backwards. It's going to be Croatia's got the tiebreaker.
Right. But if you're Lithuania, wouldn't you rather have Spain in there? I mean, they're just not playing great. I mean, but do you think they can turn back the clock?
I don't think they
together?
Look at it this way, though.
Huh?
All these teams play with so much pride.
That's true.
That I don't think they even begin to look at it that way.
Right.
Like, this is
about possible matchups.
These guys, they get out there and they're just playing for blood.
They are,
and that's why I've been enjoying these Olympics. Lithuania's got. There's a guy that what's his name? I can't pronounce it. It's like he's going to play for the Knicks.
Okay, that guy.
Yes, he's been playing well. Jonas Valanciunas hasn't been playing well at all.
Yeah, he has not been.
And I wonder, he's a guy.
He seems nervous to me.
He seems like
he seems like. Now, is this his first Olympics?
He's been in the system,
but he hasn't been on the the A team though
benched.
yet.
He's always been benched in international play.
But was he in the last World Championships? Was he on the team?
It's possible he wasn't.
I mean, he seems nervous to me. When I watch, and I got to see him play a little bit, he seems nervous. He seems like the weight of the event
is a dynamic there because he's been benched relentlessly in international play. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is, but I wonder, is he a guy that can handle 33 minutes a game at the NBA level? Like he's
doesn't look like it.
Last playoffs, he looked really good, but with the way that the league is trending towards small ball, mm-hmm. it just seems like he's going to have a hard time covering. So I wonder, a lot of people are anointing him, like starters minutes,
right? With
Biyombo out of there. I wonder about that, and also Jacob Pertl, as I think how you pronounce his name. I could see him pushing him.
Sure.
And he's a rookie.
Right.
And that, I don't know who I'm talking about more when I say that. Valanciunas or Pertl.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, I don't know what's weird is like Argentina and Brazil are leading Group B, and I don't know who's going to come out ahead. I can't take either of those teams seriously. But I can take Spain and Croatia and Lithuania seriously.
Yeah.
Argentina, there was a Nocioni 33 or 36 point game the other night.
Yeah.
That guy got a DUI right around the corner from my house.
Did he? I forgot that guy was still alive. Nocioni.
And the road that he went on, I was like, what are you doing? You're just dumb. Anyway. Brazil, Nene, if you just watched that game, you'd be like, Nene is going to be like the next big thing.
Yeah, people have been saying that for his entire career.
Oh yeah, he's not going to do anything in the NBA. Rockets fans, don't hold your breath on Nene changing your fortunes. If he plays more than 20 minutes per game and more than 60 games this year.
Wait. Let's say he's on the Rockets now.
Yeah, he's on the Rockets. Clint Capella might play 35 minutes a game this year.
Because what would worry about me about Nene being in the Rockets is one thing about Nene. Once he gets around bad defenders, he decides, hey, I better crank it up and pick up their slack. Wait a minute, no, that's not quite the case. In fact, when he's around good defenders,
that team fascinates me. There's nothing you could have told me they could do to save them, but then they went and tripled down on bad ideas.
I know,
and I'm like, that's so dumb that it might work.
The one thing that we need to do for a team that doesn't play defense
is bring in
Mike D'Antoni. That's almost like a practical joke, right?
That's what I'm saying. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and I love it.
Oh, it's going to be great. How many games can they win giving up 120 points? That's going to be the question.
I don't know, but it all hinges on James Harden's ability to give up the ball.
Yeah.
Because really, this is about pushing the ball, passing it ahead, and getting open three-point shots in the transition game. It's the complete opposite of what James Harden likes to do, surveying the court and slowly breaking his guy down through multiple foul calls.
Yes.
Hey, and also I caught online the other day, it was awesome. Some guy in a crowd at the Drew League was just giving it to James Harden.
Okay.
And he's like, you're a flopper, James. You're a flopper. And Harden goes to the crowd and tries to explain his case. He's like, no, man, that guy hit me. And then the guy, said, come on, James, we all Boy Scouts. We don't lie like that. And then the whole crowd went, oh! And James just walked away.
Nice.
It was kind of sad and depressing because it was why are you trying to argue with this dude at the True League?
What I'm really worried about with the Rockets is, considering...
I can tell you're hella worried, by the way.
Eric Gordon and Ryan Anderson's injury history, will they actually get stuck in, the shooting position waiting for the ball. Like, is that an injury that actually happens? Like, can like Aaron Gordon
just being mean.
like wide open and just like the hands are there ready for the ball.
Dr. Freeze is going to show up and like
ready for it, and then like they literally get stuck there because they've been stuck in that position with no ability to jump out of it because the ball never comes. That is my main concern. Besides the defense and the injury history, it's about them getting stuck in shooting positions.
Your concern is rigor mortis.
Yeah, it's rigor mortis setting in during live action. It's possible.
My God. But the thing, like, okay, I'm only optimistic about this because it's so crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like offensively. So if James Harden gets it, and I'm not convinced, and I don't know the date of this Drew League video. So I don't want to say this just happened the other day. I just saw it and I thought, wow, that's great. If he gets it, and they do pass and run, at least you're giving yourself some sort of, like, you've differentiated yourself. You have a high-flying, wheeling, dealing offense, and Clint Capella can get up and down the floor.
Oh, I love Clint Capella.
Yeah.
I worry about him. I worry about his development in that mess.
Well, and the hacking rules changing might impact a lot of these guys, at least a little bit.
A little bit.
But there's offensive firepower, put it this way. And
oh, sure.
And when you run out Beverly, Ariza, and Capella, it's not like that's a bad defensive lineup. It's just the whole rest of the roster is screwed up.
Absolutely.
I mean, maybe you want to argue Corey Brewer is a good defender
when he
steals the ball. Yeah, that's when he's a good defender.
Yeah, but he does his own thing. But it's one guy. It's like professional sports. One guy.
You run
resting up a rotation.
You run Ryan Anderson out there at center, and then you go Trevor Ariza at 4, and then you go across the back. You go Beverly, and Gordon and Harden. You're on to something.
Are you?
No. But maybe. Maybe you just.
One thing you want when you have Eric Gordon and Harden on the wings is no shot blocker. So
I'm telling you, this idea is so stupid that it
might be.
Because what's qualifying as a success for these guys is like, I don't know, like a 4 seed, a 6 seed. I mean, no. Like,
in their mind?
In Les Alexander's mind. Because my thoughts are
who the hell knows?
I
don't know if he's even alive.
If you're,
I don't know what they're doing over there.
Well, no. Well, actually, the reports are that he's taken a more active role, which to me reads like Daryl Morey. We've given you carte blanche for so many years, and I realize everybody in the league loves Daryl Morey, but eventually we all run out of chances,
right?
And that to me, this like if you're Daryl Morey and you're like, well, I can't really start a rebuild. And James wants to win now. I got to keep James happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our theories and I'm going to just multiply them all by 10.
Yeah. I mean.
And bring in Mike D'Antoni and every offensive player. They're like toxic assets. Because, Ryan Anderson, that contract might be the worst contract of the offseason.
And I like Ryan Anderson. I know he doesn't play a lick of D. He doesn't really rebound. But I like what he brings. To me, he's a guy that should play, 10, 12 good minutes of, he's coming in guns a-blazing and you spot him but that's not the role I'm assuming that they brought him there for that money, and he's injury prone and he's it's going to be so beautifully terrible.
But that's why Houston does it, because if Morey's like, well, you know what, I don't care what happens in year 3 and 4 of this deal.
Yeah,
I have no chance of, I have to win.
Yeah,
or I have to win now, and I have to come up with a way to exceed expectations. It's not about like winning a championship. It's about exceeding expectations and then hopefully landing that next big free agent to come play with James Harden. But that's been the $1 million question with James Harden the whole time. Who wants to do that? Who wants to play with James Harden now?
When they talk about Westbrook, at least Westbrook's going to play hard. I mean, you're crying out loud. Who the hell wants to play with that guy? He's never going to pass the ball.
He gets quite a pass, James Harden.
Pass on what?
I think in the media.
Yeah.
Because he's capable. The way this works is if you're capable of something.
Sure.
If you're in the top 5, 10 players in the NBA.
Right.
The expectations are higher.
Right.
He
does get treated like he's a third-year player going into his fourth, and like maybe this should be his breakout year, but if it's not, he's still young. I feel like he gets treated like that a little bit.
Yeah,
and it's really lame.
Yeah, I think it's time for him to either figure out that it's kind of like a baseball. We were always taught as baseball pitchers, pitch fast because your players are standing in the field. They don't like to do that.
Right.
They like being in the dugout.
Right.
And so don't make them stand out there and get cold and tight and everything. It's the same thing with offensive basketball. It's like, yeah, you can do this.
Sure.
But, feed your guys.
Yeah.
And they might play a little harder for you. And then on the defensive end, leading by example, whatever.
Yeah. We've all been taught since we were, whenever you started playing basketball, when your big man's running, he's running hard for you, throw him the damn ball on a fast break. When the big man is running, you give them the ball. And it's like, yeah, he's got issues. He's got to figure some things out because it's not going to end well. He's going to be the guy that he's going to end up, you're going to look at the amount of money that he made in the NBA when it's all said and done. And you're going to look and it's going to be like, man, that guy got to the conference finals once, and after that, he never got out of the first round.
I hate that conference final thing with that team, with that specific team.
That they even got there?
It's such a... analyzing them based on that, like a lot of people did, saying that these guys are going to win all these games last year.
Right.
That was just like... what
the stars lined up
like,
for
what are you guys thinking out there?
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up. Olympics.
What are you looking forward to?
I want to see Australia and the United States rematch. There's a genuine dislike between the two teams.
Yeah, Bogut would bring that out of you.
Well, there's an interesting Bogut.
Dellavedova, too.
You got, Dellavedova. Interesting about Dellavedova is I was looking at pictures of him from his first year with the Cavs and pictures now. He looks like he's grown. He looks like he's grown.
Taller?
Like taller. He looks like he's grown an inch, maybe 2.
Really?
He definitely looks bigger. And I think Michael Carter-Williams is in trouble, like in Milwaukee.
Oh, sure. I mean, you know what Dellavedova is going to give you.
Right.
That's always a nice thing for a coach. Whether, Michael Carter-Williams might be able to go out and give you 25 and 7 one game, but then for 3 games in a row, he's going to shoot, 25% and, give you 4 points. You're going to get that. Whatever that production from Dellavedova, you're going to get that every night.
I think that there might end up being an even split in minutes there, which wouldn't have made sense, at any point in time in the last year. Anyway, the Bogut, Durant, Barnes angle of this rivalry is really interesting because Durant's been the target of a lot of this rough play from Australia, and I'm sure Bogut is not thrilled kind of being ushered out the door.
Sure.
And I'm sure they got to have at least a small chip on their shoulders.
Yeah. Well, the good thing for him also is that Barnes isn't playing, so he won't have to hit Barnes very hard. He won't be able to hit Barnes, and so there'll be no animosity coming into training camp.
The interesting thing, that Coach K is concerned about losing because some of these guys aren't playing. And he's going with what he thinks is his best lineups. And
they're a 3-point barrage and someone not getting hot away from losing.
I was reading some people saying that this is like they're still locked into the gold. I'm like, this is over.
They're not.
Like, I think that the teams are confident playing them.
Absolutely.
And I think that the United States is struggling with their confidence.
Yes. Yeah.
They're getting by, but
They're getting by because they happen to have all-stars and someone has risen to the occasion at dead times. One guy has risen at certain times. They're that 5-minute period of no one getting hot and the other team, getting a little touch of the fire.
It's just
there.
that, like, Australia's got like Joe Ingles out there.
Yeah,
it's like Joe Ingles. First of all, I've always been an Ingles fan. He's just, his goal is to facilitate and to just do everything that the stars don't need to do.
Right.
And the United States just doesn't have that. The closest thing they have is Draymond Green, who thinks it's the Golden State Warriors out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know that necessarily makes sense for them.
Yeah.
I'm looking for Australia. I know a lot of people thought France would be the kind of the prohibitive number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm on board with that because I really don't know.
Well, they haven't shown it.
Well, they haven't shown it, and you look at how solid Lithuania and Serbia have played as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Argentina and Brazil are leading their group. I don't think that I would put my money on those two. I'm looking in the Spain, Croatia, Lithuania, Serbia group, as well as, that with Australia and France. I think that's one big chase group. I think any of them can come out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to predict that the United States doesn't win gold.
I'm not going to say they're not going to win it, but it's like all of this will be not shocking at all if they don't win.
I would probably go just bet the
field.
I would bet no, not the field. I think it's a greater than 50% chance that the United States wins. So
Yes.
betting the field, I don't feel good about it because I just feel like it's not going to happen.
Right.
Or at least the percentage chance is not great. But I would say that I would take the underdog every game the United States plays.
Right.
Take the spread.
Going forward.
Take the points
Yeah.
and just roll and see if I can go I think there's 4 more games left, something like that.
Yeah.
See if I can go 3-1.
Yeah.
And just blindly bet it.
Sure.
And don't care.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it, I think, for the show. We've just sat here and riffed.
Do you want to say, I was saddened when I heard about old Mr. John Saunders, man. I don't know.
Oh, God.
But that is definitely rest in peace. I talk about a solid, especially for ESPN, that just totally promotes that kind of craziness. Say whatever you have to say to get something. I mean, just a guy with who analyzes, just solid, coherent, classy.
It's amazing what solid, coherent, and classy can do for you.
Yeah, really is.
I mean, and he never came across as old, and I don't know the cause of death. I just saw it flash across the timeline.
Yeah, it was unexpected, but
it very unexpected because I don't know. I kind of grew up with him.
Yeah, and
and I never felt like he was going away anytime soon.
Exactly, and it's so funny. The sports reporters, I stopped watching a long time ago because it's just a zoo, and he really is the only redeeming quality of that show, as they try to equate the fact that Tom Brady threw 2 interceptions to world hunger or something, and then but whatever John Saunders' take was it's not that serious, guys. So let's bring it in. Let's bring it in and just talk about sports. So rest in peace, John Saunders, man.
Yeah, echo that, and that'll do it. Follow us online at www.kozandbru show and on Twitter. KOZandBRU show is the tagline. We got a lot of stuff, and I probably am doing a terrible job of promoting all of our stuff.
Hoopball.
Hoop-ball.com. Draft guide. It's actually not really... It's weird. We've had purchasers of the draft guide, and it was just hidden somewhere on the website.
Nice.
And it's not up yet. So, but it will be up very soon, and it's going to be the best draft guide out there.
Amen.
And I say that from experience because I've made the best draft guide that was out there many years before, and this one's better.
All right.
And so you're going to enjoy the Brewski 150, which constantly produces winners and beats great big box sites out there all the time. And I know, isn't it great? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. we're ramping up all sorts of different layers of coverage, and I think our team's now 20 deep. We add great people every week, it seems like.
Yes,
and
it's becoming a zoo. I don't know. I gotta
we got to start wearing name tags.
I gotta just stop asking random people for my coffee because I might actually be working for them. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, was that a shot across about? I don't know. So it's going to be great. We're really looking forward to this season. So check it out at hoop-ball.com, KOZANDBRU show.com, facebook.com/KOZANDBRU show. Another one's in the books.